Right now, let's bring to the microphone one of my Facebook pals, and a gentleman who's been on the show before, Dan Wass. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Theron, how are you, brother?
Great. Now, you hit me on Facebook and said, let's talk on the radio again. First of all, I'm pleading ignorance again. I know you've got a cool book out. I don't have the site up. Give the people the name of your book, basically what it's about, and where they can get it.
Well, the book is Good Gun, Bad Guy,
right.
Behind the Lies of the Anti-Gun Radical. So it's goodgunbadguy.net. And basically what I do in the book is I expose the lies and the rhetoric and the false narrative and all the nonsense that the anti-gun left perpetrates and perpetuates on people to convince them that guns are scary and dangerous and unpredictable. I unveil it all.
Where can they get it?
They can get it online. You can go right to the website. It's the best place, goodgunbadguy.net.
Okay. All they have to do is surf that out. Now, can you get it at Barnes & Noble?
Yes, you can. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it Amazon, obviously. You can go to Amazon and search it.
All right.
A lot of different places.
Now, what's interesting, you do a good job in that book, but there's so many out there that do this, and the stupidity still prevails. In fact, what you commented on, I posted something on Facebook that happened in, I forget the country, it's in Europe, where a guy with a knife chases some people, actually cuts one really bad, and they run into, I think it's a beauty shop, and this crazy Islamist with the knife is out there, and they close a sliding glass door, and they can see him. Not one person has the ability to shoot this guy dead after he's threatening to kill people, already cutting one horribly bad, and ready to bust in and start slashing people in the shop. And as I commented, they don't have a Second Amendment over there. We do here, yet we still have nutcases that talk against that.
It makes me sick when I saw that, because that guy should have been dropped in the front yard.
Yeah,
here's a little story. I have a cat named Rocky, and I have a dog named Apollo. True story. Apollo, the dog, attacks Rocky, the cat, all the time. But what happens is Rocky swats at him, slices his nose open a couple times here and there, and it stops him. Now, we don't want Apollo's nose getting cut. We don't want him getting hurt. So what do? Do we declaw the cat and make him defenseless? It doesn't make sense, does it? But that's what governments want to do. That's
exactly it. They want, and the I want to say the bitter irony of this is this has nothing to do with what people say. When you, as I've said before, you know your rights by simply closing your eyes and then thinking inside your head, what do I have a right to do? That's where this all came from. The forefathers said natural law. You have a right to defend yourself, and you have a right to defend yourself with anything. Firearm, blade, edged weapon, whatever. If somebody's trying to hurt you, you have a right to defend yourself. So it's astounding that people would argue against that. And that's exactly what they do when they try and deprive us of our Second Amendment. Thank God Hillary Clinton didn't get elected.
Well, that's true, and that's, you mentioned my friend Jan Morgan earlier, but that's what Jan and I are talking about. That's what we're preaching. That's what we're trying to explain to the world, is that there's a difference between a privilege and a right. A privilege is given by man and can be taken away by man. A right is inherent. It's something that is God-given, if you will. You can't take that away.
Right.
And the last time I looked, it wasn't the Bill of Privileges.
And people still, even though we've got Donald Trump in office, thank God, you still have people out there that are just it's weird. They're just squirming. They have a damaged reptile brain that want to still shred that Second Amendment or make insane laws against it. Our governor in this state gave us no right to defend ourselves in what are called gun-free zones. Now, you're out of our state of New York, correct?
State of New York, yes. Upstate.
You're in crazy land. You're totally in insane land over there.
Yeah, well, people think when you say New York, you think New York City. We're actually upstate New York. I'm in a county called Saratoga, in Saratoga Springs. It's a little different up here, but it's still not. It's still not as good as we'd want it to be. We still have restrictions that we have to jump through hoops up here too. But it's not New York City. I can't even go into New York City with a squirt gun.
But you can carry a firearm where you live?
Absolutely.
Okay, and do you have to go through? That's kind of a may issue as opposed to shall issue state, correct? You got to go and beg for it.
No, it's a shall in my county.
Okay, interesting.
But they like to put a little restriction on it at first. So your first go around, you'll get a hunting and target restriction, and then you got to go for more training, and you can get your unrestricted.
No, it varies from county to county in New York, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, there are slightly different rules from county to county.
Right. Well, here, once you get your license, you've got your license. I'm hoping that at some point, with Trump in the House, we can get a constitutional carry across the country. Now, let's talk about Jan Morgan for a second. She has a shop called the Gun Cave. She still has that, correct? Still operates that?
Yeah, she does a great indoor range.
Now,
Fantastic
and
place.
at one point, I think there was a dust-up around her. Didn't she forbid Muslims from coming in and practicing there or something like that?
I want to be careful how much I say because I don't know that I know all the details. But there was one person in particular that she didn't feel was a good fit. Let's say, and she said no. She said, go away.
And it was around the Islamist thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I support 100%.
She caught hell for it.
Yeah.
But
for doing the right thing. Yeah, she caught hell for doing the right thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But she got a lot of support too, and obviously there's a lot of support for her, and she's absolutely fantastic. She does a great job. She's a true patriot. She wrote the foreword to my book, and it's just it's great to be.
Well, maybe I can lean on you. I've tried to get her on the show. I called relentlessly to that gun shop and could never get through. I don't know if she shuns any kind of media attention, but I wanted to talk on the show at the time that happened. But I'd love to get her on at some point and have her just talk about what she does, Second Amendment, etc.
Let's do it. We'll set it up. I'll make it happen.
Call her. Yeah,
I'll give her a call. Yep.
Tell her to do that. I'd like to get her on. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you here, we've got a couple minutes left. You're a musician, a really good one.
Well, thanks. So are you?
Well, thank you. I appreciate the CDs you sent me. Excellent stuff. I don't play out live anymore. You still play out. You do gigs?
Not quite as much as I used to, but now I'm kind of on the road doing book stuff. But every once in a while, we still do shows.
Well, the reason I ask, our patron saint Chuck Berry just passed away. I'm sure that was a ripple in the force in your life.
Absolutely.
I mean, he wrote the frickin' book, man.
Yeah, and when I first started out, the record that I wore out, the very first rock and roll that I ever heard was Little Richard, Good Golly Miss Molly. Yep. And I wore that thing out on my mom's fold-out record player. And then I heard Johnny Be Good, and that changed everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chuck Berry, when you listen to the lyric, now Richard, of course, I call him the forefathers of rock and roll. It was Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, and, of course, Bo Diddley, who's less well-known than the others. But that's it. If you took those four guys, put them in a blender, boom, that's every rock and roll tune you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah, and the music that we listen to now, the rock music, I don't want to talk about the pop music, the rock music in most current decades wouldn't be anything like it is without those guys. Right. I mean, you look back at the trajectory of how it all progressed, right. And it's amazing the impact that Chuck Berry and all those guys had.
Well, and we're doing real short time here, but like when you and this is deep in the weeds for some that aren't musicians, but you know what I'm talking about, where you're thumping that 1, that 5, that 6, that dun 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 dun,
yeah.
Chuck Berry groove. Richard was doing that with his left hand. That's what drove us all stone cold wild. Well, listen, man, thanks for all you're doing out there. And one more time, good guy, bad gun.
Good gun, bad guy.
Good gun, bad guy. Sorry about that. And they can get that off of the website, right?
Absolutely. Goodgunbadguy.net or .com.
All right. Thanks for what you're doing, and send Jan Morgan our way. I'd love to talk to her on the radio.
Thanks, brother. We'll do.
All right. Thanks a lot. Dan Was. You're on the edge.